Hi guys, this is Samantha and Ella. Hi. We are in the kitchen today. We are live. We are baking oatmeal raisin cookies. Yep. So if you're watching, give us a little bit of a shout out. Hey, this is my second video that we're doing. I decided that we're going to be making really easy baked things this week. Obviously, everyone's stuck at home. I'm trying to adjust this here. Woo. Definitely not tech savvy, but I'll see if we can kind of, maybe I'll just hold it. All right. We're making oatmeal raisin cookies. We're going to try to see if we can use things that we have in the house. I'm really bad at finding a spot here. Ella's going to turn around and be my cameraman. Okay. I'll flip it around. Go over there maybe. These cookies are really good. They don't require too many ingredients. Like I said, some people are having trouble going food shopping. Some people just want to bake something quick and easy with their kids that's not too messy. So I've kind of laid everything out for you. So I'm going to just sort of do a quick description of our ingredients in case anybody wants to make it later. I also made an Instagram post just a couple minutes ago with the directions and the ingredient list. So you can refer to that if you want to see it in writing. We're going to need just about 2 cups of oatmeal. If you have rolled oats, whether it's old-fashioned or quick oats, it really doesn't matter so much. We've got 1 cup of brown sugar. We've got 1 cup of flour. We've got a half a cup of white sugar. We've got 1 teaspoon of baking soda and about a half teaspoon of salt. And this little weird cup is filled with a 1/4 cup of oil and a 1/4 cup of shortening. We're going to heat that up right before we pour it into the bowl so it's nice and hot. We got a 1/4 cup of hot water, and we've got some vanilla. I chose my butter vanilla, but you can pick whatever flavoring works for you if you want to add a touch of almond into it or a touch of rum extract. Either way. And then I'm also putting a splash of cinnamon into it, a little dash, and I'm also going to add some raisins, which actually I forgot to take out, so my lovely assistant will help me pull out the raisins in just a few minutes. Makes about 40 cookies, about this big or so. So it depends on how many cookies you want to have in your house. You can either half these ingredients or like if you feel comfortable. You could double it, which I think would be way too much. 80 cookies. But this is cool because, again, it does not require any milk. No eggs are in this. No real butter is in this. You could substitute out, so if you prefer to not use shortening, for example, you could use a 1/4 cup of butter if you wanted to do that, melt that down, no problem. It might change the flavor of the cookies a little bit. If you don't have shortening in the house, if you have only margarine in the house, or if you keep kosher, that's cool too. You can swap it out for whatever you think is good for your cookies. So again, this is a super quick, easy recipe to do. I'm actually going to have Ella mix it all together for me because she wants to be part of this activity as well. It's going to bake at 350 for about 10 or so minutes. Now, it depends if you like your cookies a little bit chewy. You can leave it in there closer to the smaller time of like 10 minutes. If you want them a little bit crispier, leave it for up to 12 minutes or so. Cookies are one of those weird things that once you have them in the oven, they might look like they're not done. Like when I bake my chocolate chip cookies, they almost look like they're raw. But we like to pull them out when they're still really, really soft, and that way they stay nice and chewy. They'll cool off. I have a parchment lined baking sheet over there. Parchment paper is awesome. I never really bake without it. I think it's great to have. If you don't have parchment paper and you want to just use a little bit of tin foil sprayed with a little bit of oil, that'll work too. If you have no other option and just want to bake it direct on the cookie sheet, they won't stick, but you will have to kind of pop them off and cool them on a cooling rack of some kind. So I'm going to turn this over to Ella, and she's going to kind of demo some of our mixing here. So here we go. Hi, Ella.
Hi.
This is my beautiful 11-year-old daughter, and she's going to be helping us. Again, we're on uncharted territories here, guys. I feel like I don't usually do videos. This is weird circumstances for everyone. Baking makes me happy, and I think baking probably makes a lot of people happy. Certainly sweets and cookies make people happy. So, you know, I think it's important to do things that make us feel good in these really weird times.
There's also, this is also a no egg, right?
Yeah,
no
yeah.
egg, no milk.
And no butter
no
recipe.
Butter recipe.
Yeah, so, all right, so she's going to go ahead and she's going to pour our 2 cups of rolled oats into there. Go ahead, dump it on in. Awesome. Next, she's going to put 1 cup of brown sugar. Obviously, I kind of pre-measured here, guys, but I love the way that looks. Don't you guys love that when the brown sugar comes out, it's like one big lump? She's going to now put 1/2 cup of regular white sugar. Very nice. And then she's going to put
a cup of flour.
A whole cup of flour. We're going to mix up our dry ingredients first.
Okay. And then
this is
salt.
Salt and baking soda. She's going to pop that in there. Teaspoon of baking soda and 1/2 teaspoon of salt.
The baking soda is the thing that makes the cookies like rise and make it better.
Yep. So she's going to mix that up. So give it a good mix around. It's good to blend this all together first before you put your wet ingredients in.
It's easier to mix into the wet.
Yep. If your brown sugar has lumps, if it's not fresh, you can throw it in the microwave for a few seconds first. That will also help to make it nice and soft. We're going to put a couple shakes of this cinnamon in just because I want it to be cinnamon oatmeal raisin cookies. So let's see if I can pop that open. Just a couple shakes. Good. Stop. Doesn't really matter if it's if you don't love cinnamon, leave that out. This is a very forgiving recipe. So she's blending that all together. I'm also going to pull out some raisins here. So let me kind of do this a little bit one-handed, but how's everybody doing out there? Hopefully everybody's staying relaxed and not going stir crazy and, you know, not being stressed out too much. I know we're doing our best over here.
So we have the raisins there.
We got some raisins. I'm going to just pop this box open.
You don't have to use a big packet of raisins. You can just use some little packets.
Yeah.
And you can put as many raisins as you want. It depends how many you like.
It's true.
If you like raisins or if you don't.
So we're going to have Ella dump in. Let's see how a box of raisins looks in this. This is one of these little snack pack boxes. One of these. So open that up and dump that in. While she's putting that in, I'm going to take over our oil and shortening mixture, and I'm going to put it in the microwave. Like I said, the goal is we're looking to sort of melt that shortening down. So we're going to come on over here. We're going to pop open the microwave. We're going to put this inside. And we're going to set it, we'll do 25 seconds and see how it goes after that. And we'll see if that's hot enough. Because the oil's in there also, it's going to help to heat up the shortening nice and quick.
And then it'll make it like a good mixture to add in because it won't be too thick or it won't be too liquidy.
Yep. Does anybody have any questions right now as we're just kind of mixing and waiting for a second? Feel free to type in
any recipes
anything you want to say, any recipes you might want to see. I'm thinking about doing some chocolate cupcakes. I have this awesome recipe for no egg, no milk, no butter, chocolate cupcakes, so that might be good to see.
I think we need more raisins.
Okay. So this is hot. I'm going to do another 20 seconds or so just because I think the shortening needs to get a little bit softer. You think you need more raisins, hon? Okay, so let's throw another box of raisins in there. Raisins make it a little bit sweeter. Of course, if you guys want to make it even extra sweet after these are baked, you can make a simple glaze with just a powdered sugar and milk and drizzle it on top. Or a powdered sugar and flavorings and drizzle it on top. Hi, everybody. I'm so glad a few people are watching, and hopefully you guys will make these oatmeal cookies. Again, super simple, super delicious. The recipe, if you're just joining us now, is on my Instagram post right before we started filming. And let's go ahead and take out our shortening and oil mix here. Perfect. Nice and melted. All right, that's what we're looking for. Nice and liquidy. Don't even really need to stir it up. Okay. I still have a good manicure going. That's not going to last too long. My gel nails are going to grow out soon enough. Boo. All right, so she's going to pour in our melted shortening and oil. It's a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil and a 1/4 cup of shortening that we've melted. Okay. This is not like cake. You don't have to worry too much about over mixing it. Pretty much you can mix it around until it's all combined. I'm also putting a 1/4 cup of hot water in there.
They're super easy to make, as you can see.
And the last thing we're going to put in there ingredient-wise, meanwhile, I just want to also remind you guys that my oven is preheated to 350. All right? 350 is the number we're going for. If you're the type of baker that doesn't really love to measure things exactly, go ahead and throw a splash of whatever flavor you like in there. If you feel worried about it, I would say estimate maybe about a half teaspoon to a teaspoon. I'm just going to kind of sprinkle some in.
You can also use the cap of it.
Go ahead and mix that up.
It's nice and like little.
Yeah, the cap is good if you want to kind of control what you're pouring in there. Actually, you know, sometimes when I put my flavorings in, I'll mix my flavorings in with my liquid first. So, for example, I might take my the water that I had and throw my flavoring in. We're just using this butter vanilla mix here. Really, anything goes. If you want to leave the vanilla out, if you don't have any vanilla in the house, that's fine too. Again, this is a super simple go with the flow type recipe. So she's getting that all nice and mixed up. Of course, we've washed our hands about 8,000 times today first.
So we're not just going to be touching the cookies.
Yeah, and the cookies are just for us today, so it's just for me and my family. If you want to, you can grab a rubber scraper. That might help with kind of mixing it all together. So we'll go in my crazy junk drawer here of tools and grab. You guys are not supposed to see that. And you're going to kind of just mash and mix it a little bit more.
So if you scoop it from the sides and then you can push it in.
Yeah, we're looking to kind of really combine it up good.
Nice texture.
Awesome. She's doing a good job. All right, so once that's all mixed in and not super, super dry anymore, you can either grab it by the teaspoonful, depends on how big you want your cookies to be. If you want to use your hands and roll them into balls, if you want to use gloves, that works too. So we can use about she's going to use a tablespoon or so. I'm going to do my best to kind of put this down. And maybe we'll take some questions as we're filling it up on the...
try and put it there again.
Let's see if we can prop this up and see how to do this. Turn this back around. Oh, there I am. That's a little bit too close. Hey, everyone. All right, let's see if I can kind of prop this up over here for us so we can chat while I... All right. Let's hope this doesn't fall. I put on my happy tie-dye shirt today, and I've got my hair in my curly pigtails because where am I going? So I kind of feel like sometimes you need a mood-boosting outfit. So this is my kind of go-to here, my colorful shirt.
So I would take maybe about this much, right?
Yep, so you can take about a tablespoon worth, kind of roll it in a ball. I'm going to run down and actually grab us some plastic gloves. A, they're more sanitary to do it like that, and B, it might help the dough not to stick to your hands too much. So if you've got little gloves handy, that would be good. We can even go smaller on the cookie size.
So like half this?
Maybe a little bit smaller, yeah. So we want to...
That.
Yep, that's good.
Okay.
Sometimes it takes a little time to roll out your cookies, but go ahead, I'll start rolling out.
Okay.
Go grab us some
So
gloves.
this is the size that we're using. Yeah, I did wash my hands, just so you know. So you don't want to make them too big, and you want to give them a little bit of space apart, because then they can spread out and get bigger and cook better. So now, try and make them even too.
All right, so we're going to put on some gloves just so it won't stick. We'll go a little bit quicker. Before we put these in the oven, they're going to bake for about 10 minutes, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video. If you like your cookies more chewy, then you can feel free to pull them out at like the 10.5-minute mark. You can kind of check your oven. If you like them a little crispier, leave them a little bit longer. All right, so now we can just kind of grab a little handful and sort of squeeze it up. It should come together like a ball that you can kind of hold shape. Let me kind of pull it a little bit closer here so you guys can see. If it looks too dry, you can always sprinkle in a little bit of extra water if you were off on your ingredients a little bit, so don't be afraid to do that. I'm going to press them down a little bit on the cookie sheet. We're going to fill up this cookie sheet. Hey, everybody.
Do you guys
I'm going to
have
come
any
closer
questions?
as Ella's doing a couple of the
Do you guys have any
cookies.
questions? You can just ask.
Anybody have any questions? How's everyone feeling today?
Yeah.
Hopefully everybody's feeling good. I mean, other than being slightly stressed out about what's going on in the world. I think it's a strange time for all of us. We're all in uncharted territories here. I found what works really good for anybody who has kids out there. My youngest is 7 years old. She really misses her friends doing play dates and stuff.
You can download this app called House Party.
Right.
You can have multiple people on the FaceTime at once. And you can play games together on it.
Yeah, so she's having some one-on-one play dates with some of her friends on the app called House Party. So if you don't have it, it's a free app. I'm not affiliated with the app. This is pretty good for my kids to use. And she really spends, she had a great time yesterday afternoon for like an hour having a play date with a friend. And they were like playing Barbies and LOL dolls and everything, so they could totally just get their creative face-to-face time without being in the same space.
So then you're not just alone in your house at these times.
So you're not just alone, right? Anybody ordering their groceries online?
Yeah.
That's new for me also. I actually just ordered from Instacart maybe about an hour ago, and I'm in Springfield, New Jersey, so if anybody's far away, you know, perhaps it's different from where you are, but I ordered on Instacart for any of my local friends. I ordered from Aldi's grocery store, and it said it's going to be here in 2 hours, so that's a store. I was having trouble finding any place that was going to deliver before like a week out. So if you guys are watching this now and you need any kind of quick food, Instacart and Aldi's is delivering today within a couple of hours, so that's kind of awesome. We're making these cookies bigger than I made last time, but
I mean, we don't want so many cookies in our house for just us right now.
yeah, you can kind of make them smaller or bigger. When I did these with my class a few weeks ago, I taught this in my kids' 6-week baking and decorating class. I did make them smaller because I had about 15 kids in class and I wanted everybody to have, you know,
some cookies.
Right? It is important to try to keep them all about the same size though. So Ella and I are kind of talking, and if it gets dry, you can sprinkle a little more water in there if you feel like it's too hard. You can even kind of take your hands and mix it up a bit with the gloves on. See, some of these cookies are a little bit bigger. I'm going to try to make them nice and even. What happens is when you're baking, you guys, if some things are bigger or more filled up, it's going to be harder to gauge when they're done, right? So it's really important that you try to make them all the same size.
Then if you take it out, some of them won't be done.
Correct. Exactly.
So you can look at some of them and be like, oh, those are done, but then you can take them out and then some of them are still soft.
Exactly. When I do cupcakes, that's really important to have them all the same, because some cupcakes set and finished and other cupcakes might be over dried by being in there for too long. So we're going to do one more row of cookies here. So far I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We're going to get 24 cookies on this first sheet, and there'll be a little leftover dough. Remember, I'm making these cookies a little bit bigger here. These cookies last for a few days, so that's good to know.
Just keep them under something. Don't just leave them out on your countertop or table.
Right, we're going to keep them under glass or under something that will protect them from being air exposed. Everything needs to be protected these days.
So you guys have any questions about baking, or if you have any
ideas of what you want to see?
Just write it in the comments.
Just write it in the comments. So I'm just kind of going through this sheet here.
Also, you can follow my mom's YouTube, because we might be doing lives there too.
You can find Sweet Samantha on YouTube. I'm going to post these videos. Like I said, I'm new to the whole video thing, so for me, this is a whole new learning curve in the tech world. But my more tech-savvy daughter told me that Instagram Live is the way to go, so we're doing Instagram Lives to start, and then I guess we're going to post this video onto YouTube so that it stays saved. That way everybody can refer back to it. I think we've got our whole tray of cookies going on here.
Yeah.
But my Instagram is under Sweet Samantha. So Cakes is the Instagram, and the YouTube is under Sweet Samantha. So you can find me there. I guess this video will disappear on Instagram at some point under the stories.
We're gonna put it on Sweet Sam's story, but we're gonna post it on YouTube so then you can see it. If like in a month.
Either way, the recipe is posted. So for you guys who want to work on it later, awesome. So I'm going to kind of move this here so you guys can see. Tipping it up, everybody can see.
I can move the phone.
No, phone looks good, I think. So I think, what do we say? We have 24 cookies in here. We're going to put these in the oven at 350 for about 10 minutes. I'm also going to show you we have enough dough left probably for another, 12 cookies or so to go in after. So that'll be our second batch. What's awesome about parchment paper and baking on parchment paper is paper and put it right on your countertop. We have granite as the countertop. I mean, different stones do different things, but our countertop is always nice and cold. So once we put the parchment paper down, the cookies will start to set. I'm going to go ahead and put these in the oven. I'm just kind of checking and making sure we don't have any that are way too big or way too small. We do the best. So we're going to put them in there. They smell good. I love the smell of cinnamon. Maybe we'll make a little bit of a drizzle glaze on it after. Now, I'm putting it in the oven closest to my heating space. So I've got like heating coils, and you want to have it, you know, higher up to that rather than back. I'm going to flip this around so you guys can see now just a little bit. So I do have a double oven. Let's turn on the oven light. Ding. Okay. So there they are. They're going to be baking for about 10 minutes. I'll set the timer here, set the timer for 10 minutes. Maybe I'll leave it 10.5 minutes or so. I'm going to kind of take a peek in there. These are actually larger than my other times that I've made them as far as like size goes. So if you make them larger, you may need to adjust a little longer. If you make them smaller, then check on them a little bit shorter.
I mean, like my dad likes them harder. We like them softer and chewier.
Yeah.
So some of them, we might take them out. You could also do this. You could take them out if there's conflicts between your family of chewy and hard.
Yes.
So you can take them out.
Because families don't fight about enough stuff. We have to fight about who likes the chocolate, the chewy cookies versus the crunchy
but
cookies.
But if that is the problem, then you can take it out, take out some of the cookies, and then put them back in for the crunchy ones, and then you'll have crunchy and chewy.
Awesome. All right. So, I mean, I know this is live. I'm not really sure what to do.
If you guys have any questions.
Anybody have any questions that I can answer in the meantime? Let's see what's going on outside while we're waiting. I guess I'll stay live. I mean,
yeah,
I think
it's just like 10 minutes. If you guys have any
10
questions.
minutes or so. We'll see what's going on in my backyard. This is my yard. It's a little bit messy from wintertime here. It's been raining out here. Let's step outside. Is it cold out? A little bit. What's everybody's weather like? Anybody not from New Jersey? We're in Springfield, New Jersey right now. If you're not from New Jersey, is it raining? Is it cold? Yes, question from Jessica. Does melted margarine count as shortening? I hope so, because that's what I had. Yes, absolutely. Like I said in the beginning, you can totally melt a little bit of margarine or butter in substitute of the shortening, and then you can mix it with your oil. As long as it's a 1/4 cup of each with the correct amount of measurements, then go with the flow, babe. You can do it with the margarine or the butter. No worries. And if all you have is oil, then that's fine too. These cookies are very forgiving. So we're outside, just kind of, we had our cleanup yesterday on the lawn, so all those little spiky balls are picked up, which is nice. And sometimes it's good to get fresh air. I try to get outside every day now. This is what, day 5 that we've been home, maybe day 6.
If you guys have any ideas for what we should bake, like tomorrow or the day after or the day after.
How about bread? Anybody make any bread?
Oh yeah, like homemade bread.
I think I'm going to try to make maybe hamburger buns. I've got some.
And some people need bread at home now.
Yeah, some people need bread at home now.
So now we can make bread.
Actually, you know what? The grocery stores have pretty much everything.
Other than toilet paper.
Yeah, other than toilet paper. I feel like, again, these are weird times. So
add a little bit more water.
We do what we can. If it's a little bit dry, yeah, put it in the measuring cup here, babe. Put a little bit of extra water.
So, like, you can just take a little bit of water.
I guess the downside of doing baking live is you have to wait for things to bake.
Yeah, just a tiny
Hopefully we're entertaining you guys, though.
Yeah.
This is our afternoon activity. Just a little bit of water at a time. If it's feeling a little bit dry, you can add a little extra water to
and
it.
then we'll make them stick together again.
Thumbs up. Hey, Dana. All right.
Any questions here?
All right, these are a little bit wetter now, so they might be a little easier to roll into the ball. And
let's see.
we've only been baking for 4 minutes, so not too much is going on in there.
Cooking.
They're cooking. Let's see what's going on in the front of my house. I'll give you guys a little tour while we're waiting. Hello. Again, I'm in this is my living room.
Sasha.
Let's meet Sasha. Hey, Sasha. Sasha's my 15-year-old Chihuahua.
I'm going to wash my hands. Don't worry.
Sasha's my 15-year-old Chihuahua. Hi, Sasha. Hi, Sasha. Sasha's hanging out. She doesn't know what's going on in the world, and that's a good thing. This is my front yard. All right, we're just kind of... Hey, Lisa. Good to see everybody here. We're just sort of waiting for our cookies to bake, so we're kind of just killing some time. My Ella brought down her ring light. Anybody have a ring light? These things are good, especially if you're in your 40s, because they make you look younger.
You can change the mode.
Right?
And you could change the light.
Yeah.
So you could change it lower.
So she says, Mommy, if you're filming, you need to have a ring light. Okay. We're being very professional here. Oh, and I also want to say, if you guys like bake or cook, one of these like floor mats are awesome. I put that.
They're squishy and they help you like feel like.
Yeah, it really helps with your back.
Yeah.
It really helps with your feet if you're going to be standing for like a long time.
And it lets have the floor get less dirty because you pick it up, bring it outside, and like.
Nice.
You're standing.
Hi, Carrie. Hello, hello.
Hi.
So happy a bunch of people are joining us. We're making our oatmeal raisin cookies with no eggs, no butter, and no milk, right? So this is true stay-at-home quarantine cookies. But they come out awesome. So again, I'm trying to pick things that people would have ingredients for just in their pantry. And also sometimes it's a little stressful to bake things that you feel like, okay, I'm not going to waste my ingredients if things don't come out so good. So let's turn this around so you can see us again a little bit. Oh my. Let's get back to that ring light. Maybe I shouldn't have turned it around. I'm not one to do selfies, so I feel like I'm just let's kind of pop that up here. I miss you too, Carrie. Hope everybody's doing okay. Perfect. I was doing a little bit of dance. So right now we're just waiting for our cookies to come out of the oven. Once they come out, they're going to seem a little bit soft. They're a little bit, melting down. We've got 4 minutes left on our first 10-minute block of time. But like I said, these cookies are a little bit larger. Should I stop this video and come back? I mean, I'm not really sure how to do this. If it's
I think it's fine.
Just cookies, we're kind of trying to be a little entertaining while we're waiting.
Questions? Any questions? Any ideas? I know I keep saying that. But
I want to say I'm really enjoying the I feel like I've definitely cracked up a lot in the last couple days. So if you guys have any funny pictures or memes or whatever,
can we show them our fridge or how much stuff is in our freezer?
Nah, we don't need to show our fridge of what's going on. So let's see who else is right in here. Anyway, anybody else from out of New Jersey here that's joining us? Anybody baking anything else today or doing some cooking? I don't normally cook, by the way. I'm mostly just a baker. Sweet Samantha bakes, and Sweet Samantha's husband, Adam, does all the cooking. So I've been, a little bit better about it the last couple days. We've been a little creative. I think tonight is going to be a takeout night, though. We're going to be doing
we're
pizza.
We're going to watch a movie.
Maybe we'll watch a movie. We'll see. I think Frozen 2 is out on the Disney Plus channel, so that's good. I think we got a question. Let's see. We can't get eggs here. More eggless recipes. Awesome. Okay. Perfect. So I think our next thing that we're going to bake is going to be a chocolate cupcake or chocolate cake recipe that does not require eggs. So yeah. And this recipe, of course, does not have eggs. So you can make these cookies at home. You may put a little too much water in that last bit there, so a little on the soft side. But like I said, these cookies are good. And if you're afraid to make even as large of a batch of what we did today, half that recipe. The only thing that gets a little confusing to half is when you get to like the quarter cup. I find it's helpful to kind of, if you're not sure on a measurement and you're trying to half a recipe, sometimes I take like a quarter measuring cup, like I'll take this and I'll sort of spoon in like some tablespoons of water until I get to about the halfway mark. And then in my head, I'll say, okay, about 2 tablespoons of this liquid would be half of a quarter cup. So you kind of just need to jot down your own math sometimes if you're either halving a recipe or doubling a recipe. Sometimes it's tricky if you're halving a recipe that has, say, like 1 egg, for example. Sometimes I'll crack an egg and I'll beat it. So we're waiting on our cookies to come out.
Can we show them Rocky's tank?
No, we don't need to show them Rocky. We have a bearded dragon named Rocky upstairs, so that'll be for another video, I think. We don't really need to go visit with Rocky while we're doing some baking.
Yeah. I'm going to go wash my hands.
What else is in here? Anybody else have any ideas? Anybody cooking dinner tonight? I'm sure most people are doing a lot of cooking.
Can you ask them if they have any good recipes for little kids to eat?
Yeah. My daughter's a little picky. My little one's a little bit picky. The big kids go with the flow. If anybody has any good recipes, you can kind of point me to your page and share your page on here also if anybody's posting stuff. It's good to kind of share. I have a coconut cookie recipe. Maybe we'll do that one of these days. What do we got there? Pasta tonight. Perfect. Yeah, pasta is always good. We did night. We did like a chicken breast sauteed with broccoli pasta. We did it in like a chicken broth and a little cheese.
The day before that, we did rice with like a mushroom sauce.
Cream of mushroom soup is awesome.
Chicken.
Chicken and asparagus. So. Yeah.
You should have Adam do a cooking segment. Oh,
I should have Adam do a cooking segment.
They want to learn how to make sushi.
What? Sushi?
They said let's.
All right, so my
I love sushi.
My oven is dinging now at the 10-minute mark. Elle, why don't you grab the video just so we can see? We'll kind of bring it to the oven. I'm gonna pull one of my oven mitts out. And first of all, it smells really good in here, so I know you can't smell in my kitchen. I said this the other day. If you did not make the apple cake that I demoed the other day, you should definitely look up the recipe because it's so yummy. Again, no eggs, quick to bake, easy to do. So I think my neighbor Heather made it the other day. So hey Heather, if you're out there, she said it came out awesome and her family enjoyed it. We're going to turn off the timer. Cookies are not like cakes or cupcakes where if you open the oven, it's not going to destroy them if you want to check. If you're doing, too close, Al. If you're doing,
you can see
cupcakes or cookies, if you're doing cupcakes or cake, you want to be careful not to open the oven prematurely because that could cause them to sink in. If anybody's ever baked a cake or a cupcake and had it sort of deflate in the middle, chances are it may be because you peeked and opened up the oven. With cookies, it's not like that so much. So I'm going to peek and open. I'll kind of finger touch the top of one of them. We'll see if they're even remotely dry. You can see that they've gotten a little larger, a little fluffier. These cookies don't spread out huge. They're not going to be one of those super melted out type cookies. They have a good amount of structure. So we're going to pop this open. We'll take a quick peek. I'm going to probably leave them until they start to get a little bit harder. Maybe another, I don't know.
Minute or two.
We'll keep it. We'll put for 2 more minutes and then we'll pull them out. Remember, I made these a little bit bigger than the way the recipe is written. So, you just kind of got to gauge it whether you want them crunchy or crispy. I like them a little bit more on the chewy side, so I'm going to pull them out in 2 minutes, and that should be really good. They'll be nice and set then. In the meantime, maybe we can make a glaze to go on top.
Yeah, let's make a glaze.
Should we make a glaze? We'll demo how to make a glaze.
Do you guys want us to make a glaze with it to put on top of it? I love glazes because it really gives the dessert a really nice touch after you finish.
You can also fill these, you guys, if you wanted to sandwich 2 oatmeal cookies with, something in the middle.
Oh, you could put vanilla ice cream. That would probably be really good.
That would be good. I just have some powdered sugar here, regular confectioner's sugar, and we'll just make use of what's going on here in this measuring cup. I'm just going to wing this. I'm just putting in.
Can I mix it?
A little bit here. Again, I'm not looking to make too much glaze. You want to keep it kind of on the thicker side, right? So this is the cup that we just used for water before. Yep. Can we see, Ella?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so grab this spoon, babe. Why don't you go ahead and mix that? I'm just going to put a little splash of, let's use some French vanilla creamer. These are fun if you have these in the house. Any creamers that have some flavoring on it always adds to making a good dessert.
Or you could just add milk.
Or you could just add milk.
This isn't a milk-free recipe now.
Yeah, it's not a milk-free recipe now. But
you don't have to do it with the glaze.
Right, you could do the glaze even just with water and powdered sugar. That works fine too, okay?
You can show them a little bit.
So we're going to put a little splash. A little goes a long way. So she's going to mix that up.
I want to spill it.
At first it's going to look like maybe it's too dry. We'll add a little bit more. Better to go less is more with making a glaze.
Then you can make it way too liquidy if you just add too much in the beginning.
These cookies are fine without the glaze also, but the glaze just makes it look pretty and of course adds an extra bit of sweetness to it. All right, that's our 2-minute mark. She's mixing up some glaze there. I'm going to check on our cookies again.
It's really nice. It's almost ready. Just needs a little bit more. Can I add a teensy bit more?
Let me see what it looks like. I'm leaving the cookies 1 more minute, guys. Let's see. No, that's good, I think. Let me see.
I think just a tiny bit more. Right?
Yeah, maybe just a teeny bit more. You want to be able to kind of drizzle it around if you can. So let's do it on the teaspoon this time so I don't mess up. So we'll kind of hold out the teaspoon and I'll just put like a little splash. Go ahead, put it in. That should be real good. Oh, I should say something else. If you don't want to bake these right away, you can bake some of them. You could bake like maybe 10 or 15 cookies if you think your family's not going to eat all 40 or so cookies.
And then you can freeze them.
Well, I put it in the refrigerator. To be honest, I've never frozen these. You probably could freeze them as a dough. Most cookie dough does freeze well. But, you know, if you don't want to bake them all right away, put it in a Ziploc bag, put it in some plastic, wrap it up. And
this
then
is a nice texture. It's not like faux liquid, but it's very nice. See, like it's not fully liquidy. It's like sticky.
Perfect.
It's like maple syrup.
Yeah, that's a good consistency for the glaze. All right, so I think we're going to pull the cookies out now. We'll kind of take a peek again. If you guys are just joining us, this is easy bake, no eggs, no butter, no milk, oatmeal raisin cookies. You know, they rose just a little bit, not too much. Let's see if we can focus here. I was looking for them to get slightly brown on top because, again, some of us like them chewy, some of them like us a little crispier, but I'm sort of trying to gauge it to go halfway in between. I'm at 13 minutes now, and these are large.
With water?
What's that?
Can I show them with water? So then...
No, I don't think we need to make more glaze. I think we're good on the glaze now. So we're going to pop this out. Why don't you switch with me for this so we can see how I sort of put it on the countertop to cool. I'm going to take my cookie sheet out. Also parchment paper. If you're baking with parchment paper and it still is clean, meaning once the cookies are set, and off, you can reuse the same piece of parchment paper. I feel like I can reuse a piece of parchment paper, I don't know, 5 times, or depending on what I'm making, but you don't want it to get like too yucky. Now, one of the tricks that I do with my chocolate chip cookies is when they come out of the oven, I kind of smack them on the countertop a little bit. It knocks out the air and it helps to keep cookies a little bit chewier. So that's sort of a little trick that I like to do. So I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna give it a little tap, okay? That's going to kind of knock out some of the air. And then it's as simple as lifting the parchment paper off and putting it on the countertop.
Do you help?
No, I think I got it. I'm going to slide it on off.
These look delicious.
Yeah, the cookies are going to go for a little bit of a ride here.
They might not be totally where they were before.
And I have granite countertop, so that's going to be cold. So the cookies are going from baking to now starting to set from being on the countertop. If you want to add the glaze now, it's going to melt onto the cookies. So you want to be careful not to put the glaze on until your cookies are nice and cool if you want it to have that really neat little drizzle look going on to it. The glaze is you can also add cinnamon into the glaze, which I think I might do.
Oh, can we do that?
That'll be kind of fun. I'm going to put a sprinkle of cinnamon into it.
Not too much, I don't think, just a little.
Just a little bit. It smells really good in here. We're going to bake the rest of our dough later just because we're going to kind of get off this video in a minute or so.
Good.
Yeah.
This is really nice consistency.
It's a good consistency. So even being on the countertop for just a minute or two, these cookies are starting to set. You can also move it around a bit, meaning like my countertop's really warm from where the cookies were here. So I'm going to kind of move it somewhere where it's a little bit colder, and that also helps the cookies to set faster. So that's another little trick about cookies.
Obviously,
and then sometimes I kind of move the cookies. I check like, okay, they're a little bit brown on the bottom, so they're really a nice consistency. Sort of fluffy. Oh, I just lost that one. Man down. So you want to let them get nice and cool before you go ahead and finish them. Maybe we'll swizzle a little bit of icing onto one of them just to show, and then we'll stop this video. And if you guys have any questions, you can let me know. But this is a really fun, easy project to do at home. So go ahead and swizzle some of the icing on top, Elle. Just a little bit, just kind of do like a little bit of a back and forth. Oh, that looks good. Now again, because the cookies are still hot, that's going to melt down a little. I don't think you should spread it, just kind of give it like a little bit of a little extra sampling of sugar on there. Yum. And what I like about this recipe is that it doesn't require a lot of ingredients, doesn't require a lot of time or patience, and basically no skill.
Just add things into the bowl.
Just add things into the bowl, mix it together, and you're good to go. You know, someone had a question earlier about using the margarine instead of the butter. I do want to say that if you're using butter or margarine instead of the shortening, if you're substituting it, the cookies might be a little bit crunchier. Shortening is really good for keeping cookies nice and soft. And chewy. So that the texture may change, the flavor may change, but again, these are kind of like a go with the flow type cookies, whatever you got in your pantry, whatever works, it'll work well for you. So thank you so much for joining us, everybody. I hope everybody enjoyed our video. And you guys are awesome. Ella's going to take a bite if it's cool enough to pick up.
Yeah.
So
it's really good.
It's really good. All right, we're going to go eat some cookies. Everybody stay safe and healthy, and thanks for watching. Bye.
Thank you.